and we're back and we're live tonight. At least some of us are live. I feel like I'm about to die. We're talking with Mikey tonight. We had the pleasure of going with Mikey and Dale and his crew out to Iowa back in July of last year. And we did the Buddy Holly Crash site, which was really cool. And then we went to our school where I had subsequently 5 pieces of equipment fail on me.
Oh, it's cool, yeah.
And I believe it was my fault because I went into that boiler room by myself with my cameras and my flashlight, and I felt the presence back there, and I provoked it. And after doing that, my equipment started failing. And it wouldn't, and I couldn't log into my laptop, which really irritated me. So that was the fun thing.
Oh my goodness! But you know, I actually hear like a little bit of static here on my end. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know. What I can do, I can run upstairs. I'm in the basement right now. I got
well, actually, I think it might be Joe.
Right now.
Oh, it's still there. I'm not sure what's going on with it. You say you got headphones, Mikey?
Yeah. Give me a minute and let me get my headphones.
All right.
I'll be right back. Yeah. Okay.
That could be it.
That could be the whole thing. Oh, Lordy.
No, I was gonna tell you though. I ordered a new sound card today. Should be here Thursday.
You ordered a what?
A sound card.
You know, I should actually get a sound card. Yeah, I know. Oh, by the way, Ashley, you might want to get checked because I'm running 100.3 fever right now.
Hey, it's like the one that's sitting next to this, but it's got voice changer.
No. Well, I'm wondering if I should get one for me.
I'm hoping. Well, you can use this one. When that one comes in, you can use this one.
Hey, Travis, we're waiting for Mikey to get back. He went to get headphones. See if we can kill this static stuff.
Well, I'm going to pop back in and see if that works.
Right, fine, you do that. I don't know. Is it still there? Huh. I don't hear it now. Maybe it was on Joe's end. Nope, it's still there a little bit. Not quite as bad, but it's still there.
I don't know.
Cool. I think it might be because he doesn't have headphones.
That could be because I know this mixer sound card is.
Okay, guys. Let's see how these work here a little bit. Let's see here, and they're really good too. It's the Turtle Beach stuff. It's not too bad. It's for gaming. I'm a gamer as well, and it's all.
They look like the ones we're using.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but these are beach though.
But these are the X Hypers.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna turn these on and see what we got.
Oh yeah, yours are Bluetooth, aren't they?
Yeah. How's that?
Better, but now your sound's a little low. Can you turn the volume up on it?
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, that's
you know what,
nice.
Mikey?
Now I can hear you.
I think that was the whole thing, man.
Seriously?
The whole thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It could have been feedback coming from your speakers to your mic on your phone.
Unbelievable. I don't know. And these are fully charged too, so they shouldn't be giving me any problems. No crazy things. Oh my god.
Well,
Oh,
static. Some of that static could just be Facebook having issues too. It happens.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can hear you better. You can probably hear us better now.
Yeah, I can hear it now. Yeah, it's much better. I have a volume control. I have a mic control.
That's pretty
And
cool.
yeah, this is my mic, and everything's controlled by my phone there because it has the Wi-Fi connected and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
same thing for gaming upstairs. My PS4. Yeah.
Oh no, Joe, he's a PS player.
Oh yeah.
I don't like you anymore.
Really? Oh boy, rivals.
No,
No.
I just got issues with Sony. I mean, if you want to talk gaming, we can talk gaming all day long. Mark and I have been on all kinds of games.
Nice.
But
I give up on the consoles. I'm
Sony,
playing on the computer now. I'm playing on
Yeah.
Sony
Steam.
pissed me off a long time ago when they closed down Home, PlayStation Home. You know, without really much notice, and then with all the money that everybody spent on buying the houses and everything like that, the least they could have done was giving you some store credit so you could have bought some games to make up
Right.
for the loss. But they didn't even do that.
No.
And then they turn around and they release the PS5, and the next thing you know, out comes their world, a new world like PS Home, and it's like I don't
No,
know,
that was PS. We were on the 3. That was the 4. The one out now is the 5.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, it's like forget it. You know, no more. And then the one game, the one racing game on there that they have, Gran Turismo, that's no more than just a cookie cutter game. You know, this one's not much different than this one, and this one's just like this one.
It's
They're all
just the only
basically
thing on the
same,
the
except
only
the
thing.
cars just get updated. You know,
Right. That's the only thing on Gran Turismo. All the tracks are the same. All the cars pretty much are the same manufacturers.
now
The only things different is the more progressive you go into the games, the better they start looking because the graphics get better.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the only
Because your
because
driver engines are a lot better at
yeah,
that point.
game engines and the graphic
Yeah.
engines are a lot
But
better.
it's still there. Unfortunately, Gran Turismo is still a cookie cutter game.
You know, and
Yeah.
where Forza, which is Microsoft's version, you know, standalone racing game only found on, you know, Xbox. That game is never the same. You know, I mean, and you take that game and one of the best parts of that, I can't remember which one it was, but they came out with one where you could actually drive the Hot Wheel cars. The original 9 Hot Wheel cars that came out, you could drive them, and
That
they
was
even
I think
had
that was Forza.
they even had an area that had Hot Wheel tracks, including a big giant loop.
Nice. Oh my God, that brings back
And all the
memories.
little
Right.
like speed things. Remember, like some of those Hot Wheel tracks when you were a kid growing up, they had the little speed zones where they had the
Yeah.
rollers on the side that make the car go a little bit faster as it went through it. Well, they had little speed zones on the tracks too.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God. Oh yeah. I mean, growing up in the '90s, I think they just had the best stuff. I mean, Super NES. I was a total whiz at that game. Mario, Super Mario Brothers, the whole works with that game. I knew every little secret area to go to get some guys. You know,
Oh yeah,
like
extra
up
life.
5, up 10. It's amazing stuff, and how they worked this out, it's incredible. I don't know how they did it, but yeah, that game. Even my niece, you know, she taught me a lot of stuff as well too. She was totally into it. Yeah, and but yeah, now I just have the PS4. I have GTA 5. Uh, Phenomenal game. I don't know how you guys like it, but it's an experience for me. I've never had anything like that in my life. It was like, oh my God, the graphics and it's so detailed. It's like, oh my God, it's the real thing. Now they even had stuff for the Titanic and everything. I was like, oh my God, it's off the beaches, off the shore there of the beach. I was like, holy God, that's pretty awesome stuff. Detail wise, it's kind of inaccurate, but it's up there. It's up there. It's not too bad at all. But
No, it's amazing what technology has, especially with the gaming industry. You can use that as a great example as how it's fast it's progressed. I mean, when Mark and I started, our first, I mean, I don't know about Mark, but one of my first video game systems was from Sears, and it was called Pong.
Oh wow!
And then
mine was from Montgomery Ward's with the Pong built in, and then you could get cartridges to add different stuff.
That's amazing.
And then you had, what was it, the Atari 2600 came out after that, and ColecoVision and Intellivision.
I had the ColecoVision.
I've had
the Atari adapter.
There ever was.
So I had all the ColecoVision games and stuff, and then I also had all the damn Atari games. I probably had close to 400 games at that point that were out, and it was just a little, just the weird ones, Didn't care. I didn't care. I was there to play.
That's cool. Wow.
On the Atari 2600, it was so easy to play Pac-Man because it only had like two patterns that the ghosts would follow. And if you memorized those two patterns, you had that game whipped. You could play it forever. But then go to try to play the arcade version, and you'd probably get your ass kicked if you weren't that good. But I'm a gamer too. I'm an old school gamer. I grew up in arcades when I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, there were arcades everywhere, man. I mean, Madison, I grew up in Madison, Wisconsin, and there was like 2 arcades to every 4 blocks, especially on the east and the north sides.
What the hell, Travis? You see what Travis wrote here?
Stretch, push, shove.
Yeah, out 4 months with a neck injury. Where the hell are you investigating at?
Holy God!
To get that happening. That sounds more like demons than ghosts or spirits.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we've ever had that type of bad experience.
Not that bad. I mean, in my younger years, I've experienced what people call shadow people, and I've seen the white one, and I did have an experience where I had a shadow taller than the pine tree that was in front of the trailer house. The shadow it stood right up out of the ground, and it blocked out the pine tree completely. Wow. And the only reason I know that is because there was lights at some houses and stuff down the road that you could see through the pine tree until this thing stood up. Wow. And anyway, those lights were out.
I think we should get back on track, which we are. And let's go back to, because we were talking about this before we even went on the air, but just so people know, this is Mikey. He's been known to go out on an adventure or two, and we had the pleasure of meeting him and going out with him and our good friend Dale Kazmarek. You're part of that Ghost Research Society as well, too, aren't you?
Yeah, thanks, you guys. Thank you so much again. I really do appreciate it. It's really an honor, to be with you guys. And actually, it's my first time with you guys. And,
it is.
It's really awesome. I've been with the group with Dale Kazmarek's group for about 5 years now. I think 2017. I think it was mid 2017. I think it was, it's such a phenomenal group, really great. And I've never been to so many places in my life before to research to have one heck of an experience in the paranormal. It's like a 100% plus for me. I'm just so glad that I know him and his works, what he studies, his research. Of course, it's a more scientific based scientific approach to investigations, and we follow pretty really good protocols when it comes to investigating. And so yeah, it's one phenomenal group. In fact, I think it's probably the oldest investigative groups, at least that I know of. And we're known nationally and internationally. We do have coordinators, state coordinators, individual states. Chuck Williams in Indiana, a wonderful guy, and Nicole Strickland out by the Queen Mary in Los Angeles, or in California there. And it's really amazing, really amazing folks. Even a gentleman from England has joined us in our group too, Paul Adams, I believe, and he's going to be our United Kingdom, the England coordinator, and it's great to have all these folks on board. It's really a phenomenal, great camaraderie, I would say, and yeah. I've been with the group for about 5 years, and I ventured to a lot of places. With my very first, I'll start from the beginning. If you guys like how I got into the paranormal.
Hey, you took your question from you, Mark.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I talked too long.
Sorry. Go ahead, Mikey.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, I started. It was kind of funny thing, really. Yeah, I grew up on the north side of Chicago, in the Lake View
That is
area.
part of town, huh?
Yeah. One heck of a town, and at least back then it was. I don't know about now, but but yeah, it was an older home, old home, at least one of the oldest on the block there, built back in the early 1890s, I believe, and it was a three-story building, huge, very tall sucker. It's amazing, and I guarantee you, at least back then in the 90s, I grew up, of course, in the 80s, but I would say maybe when I was 2 or 3 years old, in that building, we were on the second floor there, and yeah, about 2 or 3, and my folks were tucking me in for the night, and I was in their room, crib or small bed, whatever it was there, and I would say, I don't know. I mean, at that age, I don't even know what time it was back then, but I'll just throw a number out there. Maybe 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Is probably when I fell asleep. And I would say maybe the next couple hours later, I woke up to this ball of fire, this space with fire, a ring of fire, way up on the side of the corner of the bedroom there, next to the closet area, and the closet door was closed. Everything was shut. Everything was sealed, and because anything could happen, air or something like that, some other kind of phenomena, produce something. Maybe there was a fire in the house that I didn't even know about. I don't know. So it was kind of crazy. But what I saw, it looked like a ring of fire with a face. That's what it looked like, and it had these teeth and a grin, like one of those evil grins or something like that. And it was smiling, this evil British, smile, and it's something that seared into my brain like a hot brand. That's how crazy it was. I screamed to high hell, and I said, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And I woke everybody up. And of course, when they turned the lights on, there was nothing there in the corner. And it scared the daylights out of me. I said, "What the heck did I just experience?" It was crazy. I was 2 or 3 years old, but that was as the farthest that I can remember as far back for an experience like this. Um, and that stuck with me to this day. It's still there. I still remember to this day. I'm not sure what it was, but that house. I have an older sister, and she she's told me she's experienced many things while she lived there as well, and she had the heebie-jeebies all the time. It was kind of crazy for her, and of course, back then we don't have these fuse boxes where we had 20, 30 years ago where we had to screw it in there, screw it out, and then you get a brand new fuse there. Well, she had to climb 3 stories to get to get to the attic there, and she had to move all. It was all black, and it was night out, and so it was kind of the usual routine, pretty much, because we had kept blowing fuses left and right. It was ridiculous, but she was always has to go to the attic there, the portion there, and she was scared as all heck, and try to change these fuses, and she always felt that somebody was behind her in the attic compartment, and by the window area there, and even as you enter the attic itself, all the way inside the hall there. She always felt, very uneasy that somebody was trying to, like beating eyes, trying to look at her, something like that. So she got, pretty frightened. But so she told me a lot of stories, regarding that house. She always felt a bad vibe. I've always felt a bad vibe, like something, malevolent. I'm not sure it's demonic or something like that. I really don't want to go into, demonology or anything like that. I'm really not, into that. Really, I've experienced a lot of bad things in my lifetime. Honestly, it was a crazy time. But as far as demonic possession, I really don't research that. And even for our group, we don't handle cases like those. Those are pretty
Hey,
extreme
can I ask you a
stuff.
question? No?
Yeah.
What was that date of that house or apartment
Oh,
building?
geez. I would say it
How
was.
old was it? When was it built?
I would say they started construction in the early 1890s and completed around 1896 or 7. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense then. Well, because I had a thought, because I do know a little bit, but I didn't know where. And it did say that it did consume part of the north side, but most of central, the Great Chicago Fire, but that happened in 1871.
Yeah. Wow. So in that area there, it
And,
went that.
and it killed approximately 300 people and destroyed roughly 3.3 square miles of the city, including over 17,000 structures, and left more than 100,000 residents homeless.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Okay, but here's another part of your question for you, Joe. What part of the city or what area did it take? Did it burn the buildings down?
It doesn't
And
say.
did they, and if it was in that area where this house was,
All right, here's what it says. Okay, here's what it says. The fire
maybe the house was built on top of burnt
Wow.
ashes.
That would be something. I never thought of that, honestly.
in a neighborhood southwest of the city center. And then it said the fire leaped or whatever the south branch of the Chicago River and destroyed much of central Chicago, and then left the main branch of the river, consuming the near north side.
Wow. Well, where we were situated, it was in the Wrigley Field area, and from that point there to the lake, I would say it's probably about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. But in that area, yeah, I know there's very old homes. I'm not sure exactly what type of structures they are architectural wise, but we were in an old frame wooden house that was, like I said, it was about 3 stories tall, 3.5 stories tall, and it did have a basement, and it's got to be one of the oldest on the block there. I never did think of that though. It possibly could have been built on the land where all the fire had consumed, destroyed everything in its wake. So I may have to look into that myself as a researcher. I love researching a lot of stuff. I'm a huge Titanic enthusiast, a railroad enthusiast, and an airliner enthusiast as well too. As much history as possible. I love the big stuff. So, but very interesting. I'll take a look at that for sure. That's pretty cool.
Well, then you think about the building being as old as it is, built in the 1800s. Well, think about all the outbreaks that happened, like TB and it's such like that. And those people just dying in those buildings there, that could cause for a lot of that stuff, and it could just stay on the land, even if the bound,
Right. Right. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff.
And Chicago's notorious for the gangs too, especially, back during Prohibition,
For sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Valentine's Day Massacre was there, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. They're on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's on. Oh geez. On Clark Street or something like.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. It was a crazy thing. It's actually going to be the anniversary now next month. And that's, oh my god.
That's my anniversary too.
Oh wow! Wow!
Yeah.
Oh, wow! No kidding! Oh my! Wow! Oh, what you said it was your birthday there, or?
No, my anniversary with my wife.
Oh, wife! Oh, I thought it was your birthday. I'm sorry, these phones.
No.
Sorry.
My birthday's not till March, but my wife and I got married on Valentine's Day, so it's our anniversary as well.
Oh, that's so cool! Congratulations, you guys. That's really awesome. Wow, that's nice.
But yeah, I did a lot of that studying of the mob and all of that over the years. So.
That's good. That's cool. Wow. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, you're right. Al Capone. There is a very, very nice restaurant, bar, pub. It's on the south side, actually. It's right on Archer Avenue, Archer Road, going south on Route 191 there. It's actually where the location of Resurrection Mary's sightings were, of the Willowbrook Ballroom. It's right across the street from me, and it's called now it's called the Irish Legend, and very awesome place to go. If you guys ever come out this way, try hitting that place up. It's very cool, and it's a very nice atmosphere. But from what I hear, yeah, I believe Al Capone, his group, his gang buddies, were in that area there at that establishment, and a lot of things had taken place there. From what I know, that the cemetery right next door to it, they had dug underground tunnels for the Prohibition era, and I guess they sneaked in the old the whiskey. I guess is I think from Canada, somewhere up north. I'm not sure. And so that's how they got the liquor, and just right through the cemetery holds there. And but a lot of things have taken place at that location, Irish Legend, and fascinating history behind it. And yeah, there was a speakeasy. There was a brothel, I think on the second or third floor there. And I guess one of the ladies of the night had passed away there, so she's known to roam that building there. As far as this is the story. But fascinating stuff, really fascinating stuff.
Joe, take over for a little bit.
I'm sorry?
I told Joe to take over for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back if I can.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Yeah. And yeah, and of course, Mount Carmel Cemetery, pretty big on the south side. That's where Al Capone is buried. His family members there are there interred there, and there's one entity that's more frequent there as well too. Her name is Julia Piccola Petta, and from what I hear, they call her the Italian Bride, and there she has two. Even Dale has mentioned this on many of his tours as well, and excursions into the unknown, where this one female entity it is like present in and around the area of the cemetery at Mount Carmel. Fascinating stuff. She has a before and after photo when she was married, and a photo when she was dug up and exhumed after a series of sightings and even apparitions and that her mother had experienced in her dreams and stuff like that. And there she was in a perfect state of preservation. So they snapped a picture of it as she was there. I think it was a few years later in a perfect state of preservation. So very amazing stuff at that location there.
Oh, I believe it. You
Yeah.
know, I've done a lot of. I didn't do a. I don't know too much about Chicago and Chicago's history and stuff. I don't like going there, but then again, it's just because of the driving experience I've had. You know, going around there, and too many one-way streets, going the wrong way, and you know, shit like that. And O'Hare Airport, man, that place is huge. You know, I was driving cab for a living for a while there, and I'd have to come from Madison to Chicago O'Hare, you know, and I end up in the international lane, and they wanted you know, the other lane, and it's like, oh, man, I don't know what I'm doing. It was like my first time to O'Hare, but it's like, Jesus Christ, I'd never seen anything so big, you know, the airport.
Yeah.
I mean, it had its own zip code or something, you know.
Yeah, it is a crazy area. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, New York's got to be at least 10 times worse. Crazy. But O'Hare Airport, it's got one hell of a history behind it. And
I've been to Iowa. I've been to, you know, Illinois. I've been to Michigan.
Wow.
I'm from Wisconsin, and the furthest place I've been was Las Vegas, and I'm still in the middle of a lawsuit with them because they lied to me.
Oh no!
You know, I go down there. I win an all expense paid trip to Las Vegas for 2. I go down there. I get married, you know, and you know, that sign that says what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, she didn't stay in Vegas. She came home with me.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Jeez. Oh wow! I'm sorry, dude. That's crazy. Oh man.
We had a blast. We got to see Harrisburg.
No,
And that was
actually,
that was back in 2010. So it's been 12 years almost.
that's something too, because you know, and it's a crazy thing for us because it was a family trip that we went out there. This was 2 days, no, 3 days before 9/11, actually.
Oh wow! What a time to go out there.
Yeah, it was the most craziest time. We were there a day before. We were there on September 10th. We were there at the airport. We're fresh off, ready to go back to Chicago. And I had school actually the next day on the 11th. And I'm like, okay, well, we got in, you know, pretty late. It was kind of crazy. You know, we're still have jet lag and all that crap. You know, it was ridiculous. And and we were actually still on the north side. You know, we didn't come down the south side here about 20 years. You know, we've been here about 20 years now. But yeah, we were up north back then, and the day, the 10th, we came back. It was about 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, and we were just so bushed from that day. I decided, you know, it's probably best that I just take a school day, you know, and and just, you know, I'll just go back on on that Wednesday. It's a Wednesday, yeah. And so I wake up the following morning. My mom actually was banging on the darn door, my bedroom door. Says, "Mikey, get out here and look at the television. Look what's happening. Look what's going on." And I just couldn't believe it. I was in total utter shock. I can't believe these. I can't say it on air, but I just
Yeah.
can't.
Oh, you can say anything. We're not censored.
It's crazy. Oh yeah, it was very very crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
it was messed up. I mean,
yeah,
and I don't know what to believe, but I've seen all the conspiracy theories. I've seen all the documentaries. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
don't know how
guarantee you,
I don't know how two planes could have taken down the towers like that. I
let
just
alone
don't
three of
understand
them
that.
too. Yeah, yeah,
You know, and because of the way they were built and where they were built to withstand hurricane type forces, winds, and so on and so forth, right? If I'm
yeah,
correct.
yeah.
And some of these experts, speaking of Vegas, that do that professional demolish jobs in Vegas because those hotels change often because they got to
Yeah,
keep up with the times. So, they're demolishing hotels all the time. So it's like, they say that it was a professional, explosion job put in just the right points throughout those towers to get them to
that's
come down just like that because they came down in such a way that if you actually watched, because they used to televise when I was a kid growing up, they used to televise those explosions in Vegas. When they
I
take
got
down
you.
the hotels, they used to televise them on TV. They'd come down, straight down,
Wow. Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you'd see the aftermath of all the dust up in the air, and it looked just like the towers, how they just came straight down like that, like
yeah.
just collapsed, you know.
God,
So I mean, it looks like it was a professional, like, you know,
demolition. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Mm. God, man. Yeah, it's a horrible thing. And
I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories out there, but I was a big fan of of Governor Jesse the Body Ventura, who also had a show later called Conspiracy Theories
oh wow,
on
wow.
TV, and he even went out to Area 51. You know, I mean, this guy's in, Navy SEAL, all this stuff. He wasn't afraid. I mean, he walked right into the FBI headquarters, wanting questions
Yeah,
answered. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Wow. Well, I guarantee you, man. If we would have stayed there, at that airport for another day, we wouldn't have left that airport about 2 weeks from there.
Yeah, I would have been
That's
afraid to fly.
I was like, holy Christ. Um, but yeah, we made it home safely. Everything was all right, and this is the initial shock of it. It was horrible. But yeah, a lot of stuff. Like I said, in and around the Chicago or the airport region there. Of course, we had Flight 191 that went down in 1979. Still to this day, the worst aircraft disaster in modern history on U.S. soil. A lot of stuff. I don't know if you guys know about that story there, but
Yeah, we've heard of that one from Dale.
yeah, it's a great,
You
crazy
gotta,
thing.
you gotta realize we've had Mr. Dale Kazmarek. We've had him on our show. Oh, I don't know how
Yeah.
many wrong. I'm guessing 5, 6, maybe 7 times now. I
Oh my
don't
God.
know.
Wow. That's
You
cool.
know,
That's
he
cool
was
stuff.
part of he was part of where we had a big panel of guests. Um,
Wow. That's
we had
that's
the whole StreamYard thing filled. It was like a 100th episode type deal, and
nice.
he was part of that panel. Um, yeah,
Wow.
he's been
Well,
on
that's
our show
cool.
quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
He actually went to Bray Road with us.
Oh yeah, Bray Road, the Beast of Bray Road. Oh my God, I haven't
Didn't he
been
tell
there.
you? He didn't he tell you about that yet?
Uh, I,
You talked to him?
yeah, he did. He did. But I've never set foot out there though. I always wanted to go. There was something. I was originally. It was planned for me to go out there, but something had. I
Yeah,
think
like,
something
yeah,
happened.
you were supposed to come out that night. Yeah, because that was our first night investigation. That was like our second or third time out. That was like our third time out there for Mark and I. And this was the first time we were out there at night. And Dale had something bipedal caught in the cornfield on the thermal.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
we were watching it. And all of a sudden we just lost track of it and stuff. And Mark was walking down the hayfield along this trail right next to the cornfield, and he was had his body camera and all this, and he basically said something was following him
Yeah. Oh wow.
in the corn in the cornfield. He couldn't see what it was, but he could hear it.
Oh my
And he told us this when we got back, but while Dale and I was, you could hear on audio where Dale and I are talking, and when we lost track of that bipedal figure on the thermal, because it was Dale's thermal that we were using, because it was bigger.
Yeah.
His was bigger than ours, so bigger
Mm.
screen.
Yeah.
You could obviously tell that you could hear Dale and I saying that we think it followed Mark. Yeah.
Wow.
And Mark was not in earshot with us. He was already halfway down this 30-acre field,
Wow.
35 plus acres, I think it is. Mark would know if he was online for sure. He's
Mm.
almost got a
That
photographic
sounds.
memory for shit like that. I'm getting old. Um, but so it was like about 2, 3 hours later after that happened, maybe. Um, we got chased out of there by fog. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And most of the stuff that we've seen that are on Lee Hampel's trail cams happen in the wee hours of the morning. 6, shortly after sunup, 6, 7 o'clock. Right around that hours. And we were hoping to stay up and out there for quite a while.
Wow. Yeah.
But all of a sudden, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. Fog just started. I mean, I've never seen fog in Wisconsin as thick and roll in as fast as it did. Okay.
Wow. That's
All
so
right.
cool. Well, to me, it's
So
cool.
that's also equipment's worst nightmare because of the moisture involved, right?
Yeah.
So we're
Right.
packing up as quick as we can. We're packing up, and we've got everything packed up, and 5, 10 minutes later, I don't know, it couldn't have taken that long to pack things up because we moved pretty fast. We were back out there with flashlights, checking the ground, making sure nothing got left behind, and the fog was gone.
Wow.
Just as quick as it rolled in.
Normally, fog, like that at a lower, I'm not sure how high you guys were with the barometric pressure and all
I
that stuff.
don't know. I've never seen it roll in that thick and that fast before, and then dissipate so fast, you know.
Normally, something like that would last at least to late dawn, at least 7 o'clock. Well,
Right.
if
Hours,
yeah, yeah,
not just, this was minutes. I mean, this was over a matter of, 10, 15 minutes tops. Because, I
that's
mean, we had all our equipment out there and we packed up pretty quick. I mean, we moved quick to avoid the moisture damaging anything,
yeah,
So we were packed up and had everything back in the vehicles. And we were back out there with flashlights right after that, just, checking the ground, making sure nothing's left behind. And
yeah.
it was gone. I mean, it was like it was
That's
never there.
that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, it was. It was really fucking crazy.
Was
But
it?
I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead.
that land's been called, not by us. We didn't dub it this, but it's been called the Skinwalker Ranch of Wisconsin. Okay, we
Wow.
heard it called that by somebody else. Okay, And with the stories that and the time that we spent with the owner and the pictures, the photographs, and the things we've seen and witnessed out in that way, I tend to believe it. You
That's
know, I mean, you've got everything from portals, you've got UFOs, you've got possible Bigfoot coming down that far. Um, and that's not surprising considering that the Kettle Moraine Forest is practically right there too, real close by,
I see. Hmm.
you know. And then if you look at this farm and this area, it's like the perfect feeding ground, because the deer are abundant. They come down there to feed in the cornfield and all the berries that are growing right there next to it because you can see hundreds and hundreds of deer tracks,
Wow.
you know,
Yeah.
fresh every
Hmm.
time we go there. It's like, you know, yeah, it's
Gotcha.
amazing. And if you use a little common sense and think about it, yeah, but everything's happening there. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
We were going there just for the Beast of Bray Road, and we got a lot more than what we expect. We're expecting.
That's cool. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah. It's Wisconsin definitely is a hotbed. Illinois, and Wisconsin are hotbeds for paranormal activity. There's a lot of stuff. I think it was oh geez, Oricon or Horicon, Horicon, or A-N, I forget.
Or
Yeah, yeah. And I keep hearing, there's this famous story out there. It could be a demonic thing. I don't know, but um, uh, there was a family involved, and they were scared out of their wits in this one home. And I haven't been to this location. I probably passed it up, honestly. I was driving out there, just have a nice drive out, at night and stuff. Just trying to get away from this city. It's crazy.
yeah,
I just figured, I might as well hit up the area and see how it is and stuff. And if I come across it, then awesome. But that area there, that township, and of course Lake Geneva's got something there as well.
Lake
Um,
Geneva's got a lot of history.
yes.
Lake
Oh yeah.
Geneva, all right. Lake Geneva is very rich in history. See, I grew up here, okay,
Hmm.
but I didn't realize how strange Wisconsin really was
Hmm.
until I decided I was a big fan of Art Bell. Okay,
Ah.
if you know
Hmm.
who he was. Okay, um, he was on AM radio, and sometimes that's the only thing I could get when I was driving cab. Um,
Hmm.
so I'd listen to him, and he'd talk about things like the chupacabra, Bigfoot, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So I was in a bookstore one day, and I saw this book, and it was a hardcover book, and I still have it, and it was called Strange Wisconsin.
Hmm.
And it's like, man, I grew up here all my life. I was born in Illinois,
Oh wow.
kind kind of. See, I was I was born in Beloit, Illinois, but the
Oh,
hospital was Illinois, but my parents lived in South Beloit, Wisconsin. So
gotcha. Hey
it
Mark.
was like a strange thing. But anyway, um, yeah, I didn't I started looking into it even further when Mark and I switched from in 2019. Mark and I
I'm
switched from
cold.
pissing people off
Yeah, it's
to
cold
doing
down
the
here too.
paranormal thing. When we started doing that paranormal thing, I started buying books by Chad Lewis, and then I really got into a lot, and Linda Godfrey, the Beast of
Yeah.
the lady that actually named the Beast of Bray Road, the Beast of Bray Road.
Oh,
So
that's something. Wow. Wow. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Cool.
I haven't got a chance to meet that lady yet or get her on our show, but she's the one that her book got me fascinated with the Beast of Bray Road and the story.
That's awesome. Oh my God. Yeah. We have, some really cool, locations already set up for this year. We're trying to hit all of them. It's really, I mean, we've been to Gettysburg last year, of course, and I personally, I really want to check out Tennessee again. We were down there in Tennessee for the past 2 years, and there's one location there. It's called Hales Bar Marina and Resort. Oh God, if anybody's online right now, look it up because it is one hell of a good place, awesome place. Hales Bar Marina Resort. I forgot the location, but it is in Tennessee, and it's one hell of a location. It's beautiful, old structure, and a lot of stuff's been happening there. And of course, I'm sure Dale has already mentioned this to you guys before, but on air. But that's one of the locations I personally would love to go back to. Amazing.
I think he's ever mentioned that place, but he has talked about Gettysburg quite a few times with us.
Yeah.
That was also because we had him on right after the trip too. So.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
So it was perfect behind that. Yeah. Gettysburg,
and even Pennsylvania, alone, it's amazing. I've been there once.
You ever go to that? Isn't that where that town is? Centralia.
Then that sounds familiar. I've been
Centralia, the one that's still burning, the coal fire. What's the game?
The one that Silent Hill's based on.
Yeah, the one that's the real Silent Hill. It's called the real Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. Oh, jeez. I guess you got me.
It's Centralia, Pennsylvania. There's a coal fire, and it's been burning forever. Underground coal fire. And because of the poison gases, the town's like literally abandoned, except for the few people that refuse to leave. There's a warning. You'd have to wear like some kind of device when you walk in there. Make sure you don't stay in too long, otherwise you could die from the toxic fumes.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
So I mean, the whole town's gone. It's just abandoned buildings everywhere. The roads are graffitied. Look it up.
I think
the real Silent Hill. That's how you'll find it.
The Silent Hill, because
the real Silent Hill. That's how you'll find it.
Gotcha. Yeah, there was a program, a documentary that I was watching in regards to there was a township. It could have been this area here, of where it just had the worst pollution ever because of these factories. There's a steel mill, I think, and it just blanketed the entire township. Oh God, it was crazy. A lot of people came down with a lot of diseases. It was horrible. I haven't watched that documentary in like 10 years, so forgive me if it's incorrect. But if that's not the area, then it's got to be someplace in Pennsylvania. It's a steel mill in Pennsylvania.
Centralia, Pennsylvania. It's they were ordered to burn the landfill in 1962, and it got into some unsealed tunnels of an abandoned coal mine, and that sucker is burning still today.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It'll be burning. It'll be burning long after you and I are gone.
Yep.
Still
burning. Wait, actually, I take that back. Long after you're gone, I'm gonna live fucking ever. I'm a vampire.
That's it. I too. I gotta vouch for, I'm a vampire myself. Honestly, I have the weirdest hours of the day that I'm currently up. It's crazy, and being a writer, myself, um, it's just no end. So I hardly. Plus, I'm getting back to working out again. So I got to take care of my health and stuff. I'm trying to lose this weight. So I go at the wee hours, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I do best when I'm alone. So, um, but yeah, those it's incredible. These locations, Queen Mary. Oh God, the Queen Mary. Oh boy. Another location we want to check out too. Fascinating stuff. Endless stuff over there. Um, and yeah, so it's. I've been in this field for about a good. Well, I started dabbling in it as soon as I got out of high school, like, and I can't believe it's been over 20 years now. It's crazy. I said, wow, but I was really interested in it. And, yeah, but not professionally, of course, just amateurly. Um, Getting some evidence here and there. You have a camera, a K2 meter, a voice recorder, a tape recorder,
Yeah.
and just going out to venturing places, because the famous stuff down south, of course, was always Resurrection Mary, Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, Resurrection Cemetery, and all these famous places down here down south. Um, and no, as inquisitive and um, I just I wasn't professional at all, but I took a really darn interest in it. It was amazing. Wow. Um, and then that's where actually I've seen many documentaries about it, the paranormal field. Read a lot of books about it, and of course documentaries were out. There were complete hits. Patrick McNee's Ghost Stories was out, and that's where I actually uh, I seen Dale for the very first time. Was on one of those documentaries, and I said, "Wow, he conducts the group here, the Gross Research Society," and he was telling us in the documentary where he's been, what kind of equipment he uses, the type of protocols he uses, and what he does, what he and his group does to go out and explore all this great stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the very first time. And then I think in 2002 or 2003 is when I first met him in person, and that was a delight. That was really
Yeah,
cool.
he's a great guy, man.
Mm,
When we met Dale for the first time down there at our Iowa trip, and when we also met you,
yeah, yeah,
that was a real trip. Yeah.
that was cool. That was really
Yeah.
cool. Wow.
Well, he invited us along, and it's like, how could we turn down such an invite? Wanting to meet Dale, a guy
Mhm.
that's been in this business since 1974, I think it is, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and it's like, well, can't turn that down. And then they go to the Buddy Holly crash site. Oh man, that in and of itself was just an honor.
yeah,
Because I'm a big
yeah.
fan of music, and that was
That's
just
cool.
that was an experience. That was
Yeah,
just
for sure.
something else.
Yeah, it was really cool. Me being an airliner enthusiast and trying to investigate what we can as far as aircraft sites and the history behind them. It always whetted my appetite. Maybe we could get something, we get some type of evidence, and of course, being as respectful as possible is the main number one thing. As these were an area, these areas where people died, and that's the only thing they had. That's their only grave marker they have.
Right, right.
Same thing with the Titanic. Unfortunately, there was bodies scared all over the place, and they started dropping down all the way down to the sea floor, and where they landed is where they stood for life until the sea came and took them away. So, or life forms down there, life or marine
Yeah,
life.
whatever happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, So yeah, so we try to approach these type of investigations with incredible reverence, and and whatever we do find, if it is any type of activity there, um, mostly audio. If we can get some audio, that'd be wonderful. And we like to share that, if they would like to be, if they relatives would like it public, uh, or if they want it private, we'll just contact them, privately, saying this is what we collected. This is our evidence here. Tell us what you think you heard, what was said,
Yeah,
and see
yeah,
if
you
we can
gotta
draw
be
some
careful. You gotta be
correlation.
careful. You gotta be
Mhm.
respectful. You gotta be careful. I mean, we've got plans to go somewhere when we do go, we gotta be really careful, um, because the whole town doesn't like to talk about it, okay? I
Gotcha.
mean,
Yeah.
they don't I mean, they basically burnt the guy's house down, okay?
Mm,
Um, we wanna go to Ed where Ed Gein's from, the serial killer Ed Gein.
oh, uh, what's his name again? I'm sorry. Ed. Oh,
Uh,
if it's private, you guys don't have to come.
no, 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 he was a serial killer. The serial killer that, they used him to base, Psycho on. The guy
Hmm.
robbed he's from Plainsfield, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, I don't know if you can see the chat, but I think that's how his name's spelled, right? Anyway, he robbed graves for a while, okay? Made furniture and uh, lampshades and stuff like that. The one character in Silence of the Lambs was also based on him.
Oh, wow.
The one that had the woman down in the hole, Buffalo Bob or Bill or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Hmm.
Okay, he was also based on him. Okay, that dude's from Wisconsin. Well, see, after all of this happened and he was convicted and stuff, they burnt down his house eventually. And the land still stands vacant. Well, he was only robbing graves and stuff for the longest time, but eventually he actually killed somebody in the back of a hardware store, and that hardware store also still stands, and it's still a
Wow.
hardware store to this day.
Hmm.
But people don't like you to talk about it. They don't like you to go there to take pictures or, you gotta be really
Yeah.
careful and very respectful when you go up there, and he's buried somewhere in this one of those cemeteries that he used to rob, but he
Wow.
died in Madison, Wisconsin,
Gotcha.
in the mental hospital,
Mhm.
so called
That's
Mendota Mental Institution. So,
I don't know. I just don't know what drives these types of people. Uh, it's a crazy thing. Very, very.
well, I've been kind of a fan of serial killer well, not a fan, just fascinated by serial killers for a long
Yeah.
time, cult
Yeah.
leaders, and when your mom ends up telling you you look like Charles Manson, you end up watching Helter Skelter about 20 times, you know?
Oh my God. No. Oh my God. You look awesome, dude. That's what. Cheers, yeah.
But, anyway, and then when Dahmer got busted, Jeffrey Dahmer got busted and caught down in Milwaukee, we drove right by there shortly after that happened,
Wow. Wow.
you know? It's just a it been a but and I also predicted what was gonna happen to him when he got deported to prison too.
Is the house still there, or the area?
It was an apartment complex that he lived in. And I'm shocked that nobody smelled the stuff or whatever. It was just, yeah, it made my skin crawl. No pun intended, but you know,
It's crazy. Uh,
yeah, that whole screwed up
I,
story.
well,
I
we
mean,
have
they
the
had
Gacy
Acura.
house over by, well, it's the Gacy property, and they built over it, and we were there, a couple friends and I, we're just, checking out the area, and yeah, it's creepy as all hell.
Oh yeah,
It's where it all happened. It's all crazy. Um, but it's a beautiful house now. It's got to be, well, Chicago still, Cook County. So that's definitely well over. I'm guessing over the $400,000 mark. It's been sold, resold, put up for sale and everything
well,
like that. So
I saw that. I saw a house. I saw somebody tore down this goes back to Manson. They tore down the Sharon Tate house
no way.
on Cielo Drive. Okay, and they built this huge mansion, and it was just up for sale for like millions of dollars, like ungodly amount. And it's like I looked at the picture, and I'm like, what a fucking eyesore, you know. I mean, they couldn't have left something in history because I mean, yeah, bad history, but still, the architecture on that place from the 70s, you don't see much of that anymore anywhere. That
No,
old stuff.
that's and that was a sad story. That was pretty tough.
Yeah, it was a very sad story, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Um, a lot of stuff around Los Angeles area, and they had the Hollywood sign as well too over there. The Roosevelt Hotel, and I guess the biggie thing right now, it's more prominent, I think, is the Cecil Hotel. I think um, right down the Los Angeles area there, and a lot of sightings from. I mean, it was a scary building. I mean, just look at it, Google it, and you say, "Oh, there's got to be something going wrong with that building." Um, and there was a lot of crazy things that did happen. It was a horrible situation. Um, but but yeah, as much as honestly, you guys, as much as I really want to visit all those awesome places in California, I um, it's going to be tough because California, I don't know, it's a weird state. That's just me speaking. But
Oh,
um,
by the
but
way,
yeah, but
he's a native of California.
yeah,
Mark's from California.
really,
He would know,
wow.
yeah, he would know a lot of the areas you're probably talking about.
I mean, I honestly, it is fascinating as all hell. The Winchester House. Always wanted the Winchester House. And oh God, it's amazing. These incredible places. These stories they're awesome. Long Beach, you got the Queen Mary. That's another hot spot. Um, but yeah, you just got to be very careful if you guys go down there one day, take a weekend or something, and just take it all in. But be very careful out there. Be safe, um, and everything. But yeah, uh, a lot of trips. We're trying to plan for the year, and if not, it probably may just continue on to 2023. But hopefully the COVID lightens up a bit there, and we can get out and do some testing
Oh yeah.
properly.
Well, I'd like to,
Yeah.
if I were to go anywhere out of state more, I think I'd want to go more towards Tennessee. I've got a
Ooh.
few things. I've got a few things on my bucket list that are in Tennessee. You know,
Ooh. Ooh.
the historic Scott County Jail, um, that just got taken over recently by Miranda Young and Dr. Christy Sumner.
Mm,
Had them on our show. So it would
cool.
be kinda cool to go there just to say hi and to check it out. You know, and
Nice.
then Tennessee's full of all kinds of things. But I'd also like to tour Graceland as well. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's wow. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of great stuff in Tennessee. Really awesome stuff. Me being a Titanic fanatic, they have it's in Pigeon Forge actually. It's the Titanic Museum, museum down there. Two locations, one in Missouri and one in Tennessee. And I can't say anything on air, but I've heard things, about the areas, the locations, that we know it would be a very interesting place to check out people. But if they give us, any type of the go ahead or anything like that, that'd be wonderful. But that's all I could say at the moment. But honestly, it's a very, very beautiful place. Really, really cool area. And of course, we have the mountains back there, the Smoky Mountains, and that's always a treat. Really awesome stuff. Um, but yeah, really great stuff. Tennessee alone, Georgia right below it, and Alabama. That's a few places that we want to check out. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. For me at least, money wise, it's going to take me a little while longer to get some money.
well,
The
I got an
venture
idea
into
for that. Let's get our brains together and solve the secret in Milwaukee.
Yeah, exactly.
Find that
Right.
gem.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that book, The Secret? That book,
No.
12 Hidden Gems.
Mm,
Oh,
no.
oh. There's all right. This guy hid 12. I think it was 12 gems in 1982, all across the United States. Okay. Yeah, 12 small ceramic treasure boxes. All right. And each one contains a key. And you turn the key in and you get a gem. To this
Interesting.
day,
Wow.
now that he passed away, and he took the locations to his grave. Okay.
Mm,
There's a poem and a picture that goes with each. All right. One of them's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 3 of them have been found so far. Out of 12, only 3 have been found. The latest one was found in Boston. One was found in Chicago. And I can't remember where the other one, New York, I think. No. Chicago, Cleveland, and Boston. Those 3 have been found.
wow. That's amazing.
That means there's still 9 of them out there. Milwaukee's one of them.
That's wow. Yeah. Authors, Hans Holzer, amazing guy, I think. I read a few of his things, amazing stuff. And of course, Dr. William G. Rowe, very awesome parapsychologist. He's passed on, but if you read his work, incredible stuff. I love his methods, his scientific methods. They're amazing. He even worked on the Queen Mary, amazing stuff. But he's more prominent in the state of Georgia. A lot of poltergeist activity, those cases there. But he's known worldwide. He's got I think the Poltergeist the book. Um, and yeah, phenomenal stuff. I like his theories. It's amazing stuff. Um, but but yeah, that's pretty much what I have to offer you guys. I like I said, professionally in this field. Um, I mean, I'm no whiz, I'm no expert, I should say.
I don't think there is an expert in this field.
Exactly, right, exactly. You're learning something new every single day. You're always venturing out, and of course, take things with a grain of salt. You want to debunk things, experiment things,
And
be able
right
to prove
now,
science.
it's mostly theories, mostly all theories.
Exactly, exactly. Um, and kudos to those who've experienced the wild stuff in their lives, in the paranormal, because if they experience the Holy Grails, you know, um, it's an incredibly special feeling and an incredibly special experience for them. I've experienced, not a lot of things, but yeah, enough to where it makes me more excited. It makes me want to go out there and do some more investigating, and it keeps me on my toes a lot, and try to find out what else I can find out there because it's an interesting. It's fun. It really is fun. You want to have fun in this field, you want to be able to prove something, hopefully prove something, or if not, try to do your best and try to find out what you can find, and if something does happen wonderfully, um, share it with the world if you want. That's why the field's there. It's just, it's a it's an interdisciplinary field, and there's a lot of stuff in this field. It's not only has religious aspects of it, but it also has scientific aspects too. There's a lot of stuff in this field, and everybody's welcome to present their own facts, their own theories here and there, and share their evidence with the world. And we're there to to observe and everything, and to note things. And but hopefully, we're getting one step closer to find out the real thing, and it's to find out if there is evidence of the afterlife and try to prove it in its entirety if possible.
Well, I
But
believe it.
it's it's kind of a long shot because it's maybe some things are just left
I don't
best to
know.
be left unsaid.
I don't know. I tell you
You know,
what. I tell you what. I don't know if you know this. I was I was I had a deal where uh, basically I flatlined a few times. Okay,
oh my
I was
God.
in really bad shape. It was December 4th, 1995. Right. I
Hmm.
had I had what you would call uh, an out of body experience.
Astral
Right?
projection.
No, because I was technically dead. They were using the paddles on me. I could see them. I was like floating above myself. I could see them using the paddles on me. I could also hear out in the hallway them working on my mom because she had heart problems. And because it was me, I was her oldest son that this was happening to.
Hmm.
She was having an attack, kind of like her heart started racing. So they had to give her something to calm her down, to kind of sedate her. So I could hear that going on out there. My brother, my father, and my stepfather were in that room with me, and I could hear them talking, but I could also see them, like I'm looking down on them and my body all at the same time.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. Whoa. Hmm. Yeah, having an out of body experience. Um, the stories that I've heard, they're incredible. They're amazing, and you know, having sort of like a
Well, I wasn't supposed to live, see. I wasn't
wow,
supposed to make it this far, okay? I was diagnosed with a very rare form of cancer in adults, okay? This usually happened in children. And by the time it was diagnosed in me, they said that there was nothing they could do. I probably wasn't going to live to see Christmas that year because of the fact that my white blood cell count was so high that they couldn't start chemotherapy or anything on me because that would have killed me right then and there. Okay. I had what's called AML, leukemia. Okay. Kind of like
mm,
it's a blood cancer.
you know,
Makes your blood attack itself. The white blood cell get so high that they start attacking the healthy red blood cells. was at home one day, and every time I was standing up, I started passing out. I had no blood pressure when I stood up. So I got scared. I didn't know what was going on. I got scared because every time I'd stand up for more than 5 minutes, I'd be on the floor passed out. Called, 911. Next thing you know, I'm on the way to the hospital. Next thing you know, they're telling me I ain't got, but 3 weeks to live, and like, fuck that. I'm gonna live forever. I'm a vampire.
Oh man.
But I had to go through total body eradication and bone marrow transplant and all that other bullshit. But I had to survive what was called plasmapheresis first.
Oh. Oh my God.
So
So you've been through the war, dude. Oh my
Oh,
God.
I've been through hell and back more times than you can shake a stick at.
Well, it's great to see you, here with us, man. That's one hell of a ride.
He sits here and calls me a Twinkie because they got no expiration dates on Twinkies.
Oh my God.
But then again, I've known Mark for 20-something years.
Twinkies will survive a nuclear war.
Oh man.
You just caught Mark on a bad day because he's sick. Otherwise, he's
I'm
more fun
sorry,
to be
Mark.
around. He
Oh
looks
man.
miserable. He should just go to bed.
No, I'm just pissed off that this all happened because I've been off for 4 days because of that incident down there.
All right, I'm gonna cut. Let's cut
Almost
this.
breaking my
We can
hand.
continue to talk. We can continue to talk off the air, but we've gone over our hour, so let's try to keep it. And we can welcome Mikey back anytime.
Oh, of course.
Had so much fun. We've
Thank
gone
you,
off
guys.
topic. We don't have no guests for Friday, so we'll be back whenever. So
Yeah, for sure. I'll try to get a schedule there for you guys and see what kind of days I'm open. And yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch for sure. That's awesome.
So till next time, people, stay safe and remember, anything's possible.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.